Oh, excellent.
All right.
now.
Are we good? Are we ready?
I think so.
I believe so.
All right. Whoever is doing the recordings, please begin them.
I think Chimera's said.
I think, yeah, Chimera said. Maybe someone else.
Maybe.
I don't know. All right, we are going.
Yay!
Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, as is appropriate for where you are. Welcome to the Ask the Kindred AMA. I suppose it really should be an AUA, but here we are.
The plural me and the singular us and the
Yes.
everything in between.
We are your panelists, Viridian Caldwell, myself, Chaiya, Askari-Vykos, and Saulot. We'll be introducing ourselves in a little more detail in a moment. But first we wanted to give you a little bit of background on who we are, what we are, where we come from, that sort of thing, for anyone who is not already familiar with Kindred and the World of Darkness setting, which is where we all hail from. Perfect, thank you. I was just going to cue you.
We didn't practice.
No, not
I'm
even
just
a little.
that good.
And I was not the one who wrote most of the text on these slides, so the tone might be a little bit different, but it's fine.
We're doing it live.
The World of Darkness setting, as I mentioned, is where we all hail from. Specifically, we all somehow managed to hail from the same version of it. Obviously, it is primarily... Oh, hello. Our cat has joined us for the panel.
Yeah.
It is primarily a role-playing game setting, a tabletop setting. Vampire the Masquerade is, I believe, the most well-known of the settings, of the games, rather.
It's the only one I see in the wild, so I think so.
Also, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, and a few others. There is also I don't know if it's well known, but a video game, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It is good, you should play it.
There's actually a few video games, but that's the good one.
Are there?
That's the only one anyone cares about.
Well,
The ones for, don't worry, Viridian. Don't worry about it.
alright, I'll just brush past that. There are also apparently book series and a TV show that I didn't know about until last night when I read these slides for the first time, so I can't tell you about those, but they exist.
There's more books for days.
What the world actually is it is a setting that is, it is essentially, sorry, it is early in the morning. It is a setting that is essentially an quote-unquote alternate version of this world. It is very similar to this. There are the same locations, much of the same people, especially on the kind front or on the human front. Some of which are not as human as you might think. And there is a mostly hidden community of supernaturals. Vampires, werewolves, demons, etc., etc. We mostly stay hidden from the human world, but we exist, and we're there, and that is the primary difference between the World of Darkness and this world. If you would... Thank you. You're way ahead of me. What are Kindred exactly? Kindred are the vampires of the setting. You may also hear us referred to as Cainites. We are undead vampires. We do drink blood to survive. We do burn in the sun. We do have various powers that come with being kindred. That is dependent. We'll get there in a moment. Most stereotypes about vampires come into play in one way or another. Several of them are universal. Most of them are only applicable to some. Some are hurt by silver, have no reflection, but that's not most of us. Some of us are allergic to garlic, yes. Most of us are not. Kindred, I just said that, it's a masquerade-friendly term for vampires, so kindred is what you say in public so that you don't get found out. And the masquerade is the name for the general effort to hide supernatural preference from mortals, also called kine. For those of you who have any familiarity with older English, no, it's not a very nice word. For those of you who don't, it does stem from the word meaning cattle. It's an old word. It never fell out of use. The other alternatives are worse. So, kine. We're going with kine. I believe that's just about it on that. Clans, I mentioned earlier that powers are variable, and that is largely because of clan. Your clan is the group of vampires you are embraced into, embrace meaning turned. It determines the powers that are easy for you, the ones that come naturally to you. It also determines your weakness or your clan flaw. For example, I am a Tremere. The disciplines, the power sets that come easily to me are Auspex, the power of sensory enhancement, Dominate, the power of mental manipulation, and Thaumaturgy, blood sorcery. And the clan weakness that I have is that, actually this is a terrible example of a clan weakness because it requires other context. I'm realizing I shouldn't have used myself as an example.
You can use mine.
Your clan has about 6.
I was going to ask, I'm sure which one you have at this point.
For example, my clan is incapable of feeding on someone unless they are willing.
There we go.
That's a better example, thank you.
Get a nice, simple example.
You can tell that we didn't rehearse this part.
Why would we rehearse it? It's an AMA.
It's an AMA.
Exactly.
Your clan does have personality and culture implications, but it's not that being embraced as a Tremere or as a Salubri or what have you makes you a certain way. It's that the clans have certain cultures, and like tends to embrace like. You're generally going to embrace someone who is a good fit for your clan. You're not going to embrace someone who is completely different from you and doesn't fit into the clan stereotypes even a little bit, generally. This does happen, but not very often. So the stereotypes are stereotypes, but they do have basis in fact, usually. However, the level of unity and organization of those clans does vary. Some of us are much more unified and much more similar than others.
You can say yourself.
I can say Tremere. Clan Tremere is probably the extreme of that. And many clans do not get along. Clan Tremere in particular has very bad history with several clans, including both of the other clans on the panel, which is outstanding.
Viridian gets executed live at the Centaurus Festival.
We still like you.
I'm going to be cancelled at the Centaurus Festival.
I'm writing a call-out post now.
No.
Oh, no. On that Tumblr you don't have.
Yes. So yes, there is inter-clan conflict to varying degrees depending on the clan. Some of them get along famously, most of them don't, but we get along as best we can. And obviously individuals can get along just fine. There we are. Introductions. I promised that we would introduce ourselves a little more in detail. As I mentioned, I am Viridian Caldwell. I do she/her pronouns. I actually have a script for this part, and I should probably read it. I loosely prefer that strangers called me Caldwell, but given that my fellow panelists are my friends, and thus will most likely be calling me Viridian throughout, I will not be offended if Askars forget and Viridian me as well. It's fine. I am High Magister of Clan Tremere, a clan of blood sorcerers originating from mages. I personally specialize in technomancy, the art of affecting technology with sorcery. I can't say I'm an average neonate, considering the nonsense I've been up to, but I am still a neonate, young enough to be within a human lifespan. I'm not quite 60 years old in total, 23 years kindred, 8 years as a ghoul before that. I woke up fully in the system just over a year ago. I was the first fictive in our system to do so, although, to be honest, I think I've probably been here half awake a lot longer than that. We don't know exactly how long. I admit I relatively rarely directly interact with the Alter-Human community, but I have published a few personal essays on my experiences as a fictive and my relationship with humanity and non-humanity. Those can be found both on the Fiction Kind Dreamwidth and on my Tumblr blog, Emerald Technologist.
Hi, I'm Chaiya Askari-Vykos, he, him pronouns. I am a Bana Hakim, which are also known as Assamite, and Titrabu, meaning that I've actually split off from the main clan Assamite, which is widely known for assassination and combat prowess, but in reality, we actually have multiple casts who have different strengths and power sets. I am warrior cast, so the fact that there's others doesn't matter too much for this, but they're there. There's more to us. I have several specialties along that line. I was actually a professional assassin for several years. But these days I'm actually a politician. And
Better to cancel you too.
I know. Cancel for politics. Blame my wife. It's their fault.
Everyone is cancelled compared to Saulot.
Saulot uncancelable. So, like Viridian, I'm a neonate. I'm 47. I've been a vampire for 21 years. I don't have any ghoul years. I'm not that cool.
You're not that cool.
I'm not, no.
I don't know why you agreed to do a panel with me.
Because you're great, and I love this. Here, I am one of the co-hosts of my system. I've been aware for a little over 5 years, and I've been loud and in everyone's face for just over 3. You may know me from my panel at OtherCon last year, Not Humans, Still People, where I've also talked some about my experience with vampirism, and you're going to hear more about it today.
You people lied to me when you said you could look at the panel stage on mobile without being in it.
What?
You have to hit the chat button. You can't just click on the panel stage. Or
You have to long hold.
There isn't a chat button.
No, you long hold on the panel, and then it pulls up a little thing.
Oh, Centaurus Festival.
My fault for saying no technical difficulties early.
That's
Yeah.
true. You did bring this upon us.
Were you done introducing yourself? I lost where you were. Okay.
No, it's your turn.
Oh, and I'm Saulot. He, him. I'm a little different from the other two. While they are neonates, namely vampires still within human age range, I'm the complete opposite. I am an antediluvian, approximately 6,000 years old, and the progenitor of one of the vampire clans, the Salubri. I was among the first 20 or so vampires to exist, so I've seen nearly everything, although I did miss quite a few things for the about 900 years after 1133. I temporarily had my soul ripped out and consumed by someone I'm now headmates and friends with, the progenitor of the Tremere clan. Our clans have some awkward history, but we make it work. I and my clan specialize in healing, protecting the world and its people from things far worse as vampires, such as demons and the like. We also have a focus on helping other vampires, each other, and ourselves find inner peace and understanding of the universe, a state that many vampires consider mythical, called Golconda. This is a state that I've achieved, meaning I can have to drink far less blood than my fellows and can even go out in the sun, although many other drawbacks of being a vampire still remain. As for my place in the system, I'm a member of the Temperance subsystem, a subsystem of 3 antediluvian fictives made up of myself, Arakel, the Toreador antediluvian, and Kenadel, the Ravnos antediluvian. I've been here for a couple of years now. My favorite color is blue, and I like long walks on sunny beaches. I told you I'd add it.
You did
You're so right for that.
Why would I lie to you?
You wouldn't. I know you wouldn't. It's fantastic.
I don't know who's supposed to read this slide, so I guess I'll just do it
It's
since
you.
I've been doing them. Alright.
It's all you. It's your spotlight, Viridian.
We have, this is our general boundaries/guidelines page for the questions. We're now at the point where we'll start taking questions. Please put any and all questions in the panel questions chat, not in the panel stage chat. If you put them in the panel stage chat, we will not see them and we will not answer them. We can refuse to answer questions even if they fall within these set rules. If they just happen to trip into something we don't want to talk about, we do reserve the right to not talk about it. But in general, those rules will be, please remember this is going to be public on YouTube. Please do not get crazy personal with your stories. Please remember, in the same vein, we are not mental health experts. Our advice is limited. This has come up a couple of times at previous panels. Please be considerate when asking particularly personal questions. You're welcome to, but please don't forget that while these are technically fictional stories, they're also our lived experiences. And finally, please stay relatively on the topic of vampirism, or being a fictive, and our experiences with those things. If no one is asking questions, then we can get a little off topic and a little silly with it, but generally speaking, we're here mostly to talk about our experiences with vampirism and fictivity. If that's not a word, it is now, and
I've heard it.
would prefer to stay on topic with that. With that aside, we can open up questions, and oh dear, we already have several.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah,
if you have questions for specific people, if you could precede it with our names, we'd appreciate that.
Yes.
First question I can tell is for me, because it's Poppy asking, how do you stay sane after being alive for 6,000 years? Very carefully. Most of my, let's say, contemporaries have not managed it. It's very difficult to see the world you're so familiar with change over time. It's very difficult to keep up with things. It's very difficult to see so many vampires you've known for hundreds or thousands of years die, because it happens. One thing that vampires can do is, it's called torpor, where you basically put yourself into a self-induced sleep for months, years, centuries, which lets you skip time, essentially, and helps you reset your brain a little bit. So, torpor. Would recommend. When exhausted, take a nap.
Sleeping is good for you,
Sleeping is good for you.
even if you're dead.
Even if it's sleeping for a couple of centuries.
I mean, don't we all need that sometimes?
You're 47.
I'm tired.
Next one. Do all vampires actively belong to a clan or part of one at one point? Yes. It's an inherent thing in your blood.
Well,
Except.
prerogative. Yes, asterisk.
Yes.
Yes, asterisk.
I didn't want to say no, but it's yes, asterisk.
Mm-hmm. Caitiff are vampires who are embraced, but the clan disciplines and the clan flaw, for whatever reason, just don't take. No one's exactly sure why it happens, as far as I'm aware, so that's essentially it. Most vampires do, though. It is inherent to the blood, even if you don't actively participate in your clan.
Yeah, clan blood-wise and clan culture are two different things. You can opt, out of one. It's kind of hard to opt out of your blood.
Opinion on the current state of the vampire community. We might need a little more clarification on that one. Do you mean...
or...
Exactly. I know there is a vampire community here, so I'm not sure if that's what you mean. What is some of your favorite blood substitutes? From Darcy. I don't have any, I will admit. I think that probably the best thing I've come up with as an idea is something like salty broth, toss a couple of clean pennies in the bottom to soak, but even that I don't think would be a fantastic substitute. Taste is very important for me. It can't just be any red liquid for me. I don't know how the two of you feel about it.
I am a dark chocolate fan, so I kind of hang out in that realm, more for the bitter kind of metallic vibe. I don't really have a liquid substitute. I'll be honest, I don't worry about it too much. I spent a lot of time as a vampire, but not enough to, lose all taste for food. So I went back to food pretty easily. That's not the case for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Ace in our system is not big on food. They're like, give me blood. I don't miss blood at all. I'm happy.
I don't miss blood, but I don't like food, generally speaking, so I do miss the reliability and consistency of blood.
I had some great broccoli yesterday. Hello.
We know, Saulot.
I don't shut up about my broccoli.
Broccoli
My
beans.
status. It's who I am. Coconut water. I don't like coconut.
I'm allergic.
Same. Well, that was a resounding no!
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Wait, hold on, Darcy, in the panel chat, yes, steak cooked rare, you're absolutely right. Gimme that. I can't believe I forgot about steak.
Tried.
I'm sorry, I'm tired.
If you're willing to share, what does the embrace feel like? I don't remember. It was 6,000 years ago. They hadn't invented the wheel yet. I'm sorry. I don't think it was nice. I think it was terrible. I'm gonna neonate.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember a lot either for different reasons.
Yes, let's not go into that.
Let's not, no. This is a PG-13 situation. I'm not going into that.
Very fair. Well, I for one had an excellent experience with the embrace. My problems with my sire came later. So
yeah, Chaiya and I both got plucked out of our lives, and you were politely asked.
Yes, I had an odd experience where I mentioned I was a ghoul. For those of you who don't know what that is a human who drinks vampire blood on a regular basis. It gives them immortality as long as they continue drinking vampire blood and limited vampiric powers. Ghouls are usually servants or similar to varying degrees of servants. It can range from friend who works for you to, let's not go there. So I was a ghoul for a good long while, and, well, long while from a mortal perspective anyway. And my embrace was planned, I knew it was coming. It was also a public ceremony, which I learned later is not normal.
No.
So...
No.
But I was very happy to be embraced. I was very proud to be embraced. It was overall a good experience for me. You do die during the embrace, so there is that, but it's not painful in any way. It's just quietly losing consciousness. So, and then afterward you do have to deal with the, vampiric instincts of the beast popping up for the first time. That's less fun. I actually wrote a fictionalized version of this. Well...
Oh, you did?
It was written before I actually woke up fully, but it is relatively accurate, so I would probably change a few things, but nothing huge.
Also,
That's
Kindred
always
says
fun.
it didn't hurt for you, and Outlier, he was a mage.
Outlier.
Outlier, avatar broken.
Yeah.
Mages get it different style.
Your experiences are not universal, thank goodness.
Max wants to know, do y'all have some favorite or least favorite things about being alive nowadays? I don't like how oily and, like, sweaty. Like, a living creature's always, like, excreting something. They're always oily, they're always sweaty. Their body is always doing something. Stop. I want you to check with me before you do something.
Literally, it's constant. There's always something happening, and I would like to stop happening a little.
Humans are such wet creatures.
Humans really are very wet creatures. And
there's nothing wrong with that, but
no.
After 6,000 years, it's startling. I had 21 years of being, an oily beast, and then 6,000 years of being a dry, blood-sucking beast, and now I'm back.
From oil you came, and into oil you shall return.
Could I not?
Not optional.
Not optional. Wet Beast Saturday.
Favorite. It is nice to be able to go out in the sun, I will admit.
Mm-hmm.
It was very odd at first, but it is nice.
It's... So, you might not think of it, but colors are so different when you get used to only being around at night. Because, it's the 21st century, everything's lit up to hell and back, but the colors are different. The colors are very different, and seeing them in the daytime fucking rules. I missed real colors,
When I first got the ability to daywalk, it was very exciting.
Oh,
It's a difficult question for me because a lot of it's either things I could do while I was dead because I'm special, or exciting things about the 21st century.
You can talk about exciting things.
I like the internet. I think, I have friends that live in my pocket.
Yeah.
I can touch a flat object and communicate dreams and ideas. What a world.
It's incredible. I wish I was better at the internet.
I'm 6,000 and you're the internet, old man.
Yeah.
Do you identify with the other kin term? Is there another kin type you identify with in addition to being a vampire?
Not in I guess what I want to know is, does that mean in conjunction with vampirism, or just separately? Just in general. I mean, yeah, I've got other kin stuff going on. It just has nothing to do with being a vampire. It's I'm a dragon, but that's separate from everything else.
Unrelatedly, that man's a dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Completely unrelated to the fact that I'm undead. I'm also a little snaky lizard thing sometimes.
As you do.
Yeah. I don't consider myself vampire, Ken. I'm too busy being effective.
I'm much the same way. It feels odd to apply kin terminology to something that I've been physically living as for 23 years or so.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Silly question. Can any of you or anyone you know turn into a bat? I have a vampire-like alien form, and it's one of his only powers. From Poppy.
Yes. Oh, there are vampires who can turn into bats, and it's the best.
Can any of us do it? I don't think so.
I can.
Of course you can.
Real shit!
My sister taught me lots of Protean.
Yes!
There's a discipline out there called Protean that lets you transform parts of your body into that of animals, and ultimately lets you transform into an animal. She one day hunted me down. We hadn't spoken in centuries. Hunted me down. and said, Saulot. And I said, you look different, because she currently looked like a bipedal panther. And she said, don't mind that. I'm going to teach you some powers now. And I said, do I have a choice? And she said, no, you need to protect yourself. So she taught me some powers.
That sounds about right. My brother has protean, but he turned into a dinosaur, which you're not supposed to do, by the way.
There's something wrong with him.
He's freaking it weird style, and it's fantastic.
I love Zacharias.
He turned specifically an Anchiornis, which is one of the little feathery beasts, like a Microraptor or an Archaeopteryx, similar thing.
He's a Therian, and that's stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you got a free pass on how protean works. So good news, everyone. If you want to turn into your kin type, just become a vampire with protean. Get embraced by a gangrel. You'll get powers.
There's a couple steps, but you'll get there.
You'll get
One.
there. I mean,
Find a vampire.
once you get embraced, you've got all eternity to go through the steps, so...
That's true.
Alright. Do Kindred dream when in torpor? They're not supposed to, but we do anyway. When Kindred dream when either asleep or in torpor, it's usually for a reason. Usually something's going on, they're subconsciously tapping into something. Those with Auspex, a discipline that gives you precognition to some extent, are especially prone to this. So you're not supposed to, but I do it every time.
Yeah,
One of you should have a torpor, see if you dream anything.
I
I've never actually
mean,
did a torpor, yeah, so I don't know.
I've been in weird torpor, but, it's because I got in a fight and ate shit.
Well, I don't think you dream in those typically, because it's your
No.
body healing itself. Voluntary torpor, you'll probably dream. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, probably. Vampires can have nightmares. It's rare, but it happens. And they suck. They suck bad.
Mm-hmm. They do.
A general question to all. Do you feel like your clan weakness ever affects you now, emotionally, mentally, etc., and how do you deal with it? I've been questioning Zamisi for over a year, so I've noticed the clan weakness affecting me on an emotional level off and on at times. The Zamisi and the system are yelling yes.
Same. Actually, yeah, no. So my clan weakness has changed over the course of my life because I started out with the standard to my time period Asmite weakness of not being able to consume vitae without pain. It caused a lot of problems, and that does still freak me out. Yeah. I have a little bit of an aversion to it, just residually. And then I got my weakness changed through some very helpful magic from my now partner Goratrix. We weren't dating at the time. We barely knew each other, and he scared me. But now it's if I drink vitae, I get addicted to it very easily. Which conversely doesn't affect me at all. That one doesn't really linger. In Source it was an issue. Here I'm kind of like, well, okay. I have an addictive personality already. I knew that. Whatever. Blood's not different. Blood, cigarettes. Who gives a shit? Oh fuck! Sorry, I dropped my phone.
Well,
No, you dropped everyone.
I dropped everyone. I'm sorry, guys. Come back.
My clan weakness has to do with blood bonds. Long story short, if you drink a vampire's blood, you get an artificial affection toward them put upon you for a time period afterward. Tremere are more susceptible to that. We get a stronger blood bond for a single drink. This is not applicable to my current situation, so no, I don't think so. I don't think anyone that... Sorry, I'm trying to run through people that are here versus people that are only back in Source. I don't think there's anyone here that I have a blood bond to currently in Source, so...
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think my blood bond ace has run out quite a while ago, so...
There's no reason for us to have one together. So.
No, there's no reason that it should affect me now, but... So I don't think so, no.
And mine, first of all, my clan weakness affect me because I'm the progenitor. Antediluvians are a little off and on as to whether or not we suffer our clan weakness, and it has to do with feeding anyway. So, no. It might kick in if I tried to drink someone's blood, but I'm not sure why I would be doing that. I'd get diseases.
Yeah, no, that... How to get diseases 101.
Mm-hmm. Do any of you have a spiritual connection with being kindred? I don't think so.
I'm not entirely sure what the question means, to be honest. I might need a clarification.
Yeah, I think we might want a clarification on that one, Spiritfire.
Is blood soup?
Yes.
No. Now hold on.
Very quick, different answers.
Oh, that's
liquid, it's got things in it.
It's not... I'm not doing this
warm.
with you. I'm not doing this with you.
No?
No.
I'm not the youngest of three. I can't be exceedingly obstinate. I don't have two older sisters. For 6,000 years.
Please, I already have a younger brother and a younger sister. I don't need this.
Pro tip to everyone. If you ever embrace anyone, which you won't, but if you do, please make sure they're at least 30, because when you're in your 20s, you turn into a shithead, and you never know if that shithead is going to live for 6,000 years.
So true. You gotta be careful.
Do any of you, or have you, bothered with actual blood since being here? Whether human or pig blood you can buy some places. We've had some experience with the local variety of vampires who actually need blood or energy here. From, I don't know if it's Nisha or Nisha, I apologize. No, I haven't. I don't need it, so, and I imagine it would be a disappointment, to be honest, because it doesn't... When you're kindred, at least from what I recall, blood doesn't quite just taste like blood, there's more to it. So, when you've got human taste buds, I imagine it would be kind of a disappointment for me personally. I don't know how the two of you feel about it.
I haven't sought it out, personally. No. But I wouldn't be opposed to it if the opportunity came about. So I'm just kind of like,
too autistic.
Right.
I think we'd be a bad texture. I think it'd be bad texture for us. We're very texture sensitive, and blood's very thick.
I think I'd like the texture, but I'm worried about the... I don't know. It's salty.
Yummy, yummy salt.
I might not turn
you'd
it
love
down.
that.
If it was offered to me, I might not turn it down just out of curiosity, but I'm not going to actively seek it out, I think is where I land.
Mm-hmm. People would ask me questions.
Do any of you work any human jobs that have the ungodly hours of 8 or earlier in the morning? And if so, how do you balance that with your vampiric lifestyle? I mean, I'm a fictive, so I kind of just make it work. We're not required to be up at night specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I think we mostly are just up during the day and just kind of obey human expectations.
Mm-hmm. We are unfortunately ruled by the human circadian rhythm. I'll be honest, I don't help at work. I let Ronnie do that. We struggle to get them out of the front to begin with, but also I struggle to sound like them without ending up pulling them into a blurry co-front anyway, which neither of us enjoys, so I don't help.
This was before I was really like super solid in the front. We've been sick bodily for a few years, so we haven't been working very much, but we have equal problems with being up during the daylight hours and being up during the nighttime hours because we have insomnia. It's completely unrelated, and it makes everything difficult. So no, not really. It's, I guess you could say it. It's like, oh, well, does it feel weird to get up when you should be going to bed? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that feels weird for everyone.
Mm-hmm. How did you all figure out that you're kindred and what clan you're a part of? How long have you known? In Source from Embrace. Outside of it, well, if you're looking for advice on how to figure out what clan you are with a kindred identity, I'm afraid I can't really help, because when I showed up in the system, everyone already knew, oh, that's Saulot, and I'm a canon character to the World of
Yeah.
Darkness. Everyone knows who Saulot is if you dig into the Salubri at all. I'm one of the only antediluvians that has a solid name and a thing that happened to me. Canon. So
We don't look at that.
I'm kindred and Salubri because I'm Saulot. Unfortunately, with fictives, it tends to be a little easier than for a kin type.
Yeah.
I'm in much the same boat, minus the canon character part, yes. So, also hello, Kiluka. Good to see you. Glad you made it. Chaiya, do you have anything specific to add, or?
I mean, I did have, like, my own, in-source experience of finding out that I was a vampire, which was weird, but it's not gonna help anyone.
Well...
That was a I'm a what kind of situation.
Condolences.
I didn't know that vampires were real until I was one, so that was fun.
Vampires were newly invented for me, so it
that's
wasn't
true.
like, oh, it's this fake thing that's real now. I'm like, oh, I guess I have powers?
Yeah.
The way it was described to me is I was now some kind of demigod, which I thought was kind of cool.
Man.
Oh, okay.
That's a cool fucking pitch. What the hell? I wish I had that.
Well, my sire thought he was king of the world.
Yeah, no, there was something really wrong with that guy.
It's because he was the third vampire ever, and his sire was Cain, and it's a whole thing.
And
for anyone wondering, yes, Cain, like biblical Cain, except there's an E at the end. I don't know why.
It's because he's special. How long can the average vampire survive without blood? So, that depends. Depending on your inherent, like, power as a vampire, which is heavily dependent on your embrace line, you can utilize blood more efficiently the more powerful you are. So the amount of time it takes for you to run out of blood is very dependent on that.
Cain would
Saulot over here. How long can you go from max to 0? How long does that take you?
So the average vampire can go about 10 days between feeding if they want to go from max to dry, because most vampires are going to be 13th generation. Antediluvians can go months. I don't have to spend blood daily. I have to spend it weekly.
What?
I can go... I know. I'm sorry. I can go many months. I don't know exactly how long. I've never timed it. I think it's like 9 months.
Hello?
But the amount of like blood I need to drink, like to go to full from 0, I mean that's
That's an
that's
entire
dozens of
town's
people.
worth, I think.
That's true.
That's Ronnie's hometown's worth.
Easily.
And I would never do that to a town. That's not nice.
I think you should do a bar crawl spanning a country.
Oh. Do you want to come with me?
Yes. Absolutely, I want to come with you.
Oh, goodness.
For me, it takes a little over a month, to go from full to nothing.
Which is crazy, for the record.
Which is crazy.
I
Yeah,
forget.
no. That wasn't the
forget your
case.
generation.
Me too. I didn't start out that way. I started out with like the 10, 11 days thing. And then I did horrible crimes against the Geneva Convention and other conventions that we don't have names for. So
The Convention of Thorns.
I don't know. Was that addressed?
I
Probably.
don't think so.
I think they had
Could
other
have been.
problems.
Like your wife.
Yeah. I love when they make themselves a problem places.
Oh, we'd love to tell that story, but that's an 18+ story.
That's an 18+ story.
That is an 18+ story.
My beautiful, beautiful wife, who is not PG-13.
I can go 15 days from full to dry, and you can last a little longer after that. You just start, mechanically speaking, you start taking health levels instead of losing blood to rise for the night. So it does put you into torpor eventually.
That shit sucks.
And then you're stuck in torpor until someone politely comes along and gives you blood, which no one would ever do.
Yeah, no one's gonna do that. They're gonna eat you or something.
Pay on
Or
the sun.
put
Use
you
as
in a hole.
decoration.
Yeah.
Don't run out of blood.
Don't do that.
No.
It's not good for you.
Would water with red food dye work as a blood substitute? I think we've talked about this, how it's kind of a taste-based thing as opposed to just visual.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would taste like red food dye.
That's true, it would taste like red food dye.
Which, if you're into that, then hell yeah, good for you. If you're not, that sounds terrible. I guess it depends on which red food dye it is.
Maybe so. Do you feel a spiritual element to your kindred identity, or is it strictly in the physical sense? Does being kindred influence your spiritual beliefs, if any? Oh, I could write an essay on this, so I'm not going to go into it.
That's a whole
sorry.
other panel.
You should.
asked. Hi, I'm Saulot. I'm the antediluvian of the Salubri clan. Our whole thing is having some weird kindred-based spiritual beliefs. I will write an essay about that one of these days. I will simply not go into it here. We could be here for an hour. So yes.
I'm looking forward to that later. Because I know that you're going to info dump about that, and I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to remember a lot of it. I haven't thought about it a lot since I got here.
No, I'd be very
Memory.
interested in that essay, though.
Oh boy.
As would multiple people in chat, apparently, it seems.
The people want the essay.
People want the essay.
I'll write an essay.
I don't have much in the way of spiritual beliefs. The other vampire in here, Rashawn, is yelling from the couch. Faye is very religious about fair vampirism. I don't know why I forgot the word for a moment. So, but again, we won't go into it, partially because Faye's not on the panel. So, talk to Fair about that sometime. For me personally, not particularly, but that's because I'm not a very spiritual person to begin with.
So, I'm Muslim. And the only, way that being a vampire is tied into that has been in problematic ways. It hasn't really changed my spirituality or how I follow that. Aside from, practice is kind of impossible because there's a lot of timing based elements and fasting and such things. They're kind of difficult when you can't be up during the daytime, and fasting ugh. I could, but it gets weird. It gets very weird. So it changes things, but not in the way that you'd think, I would say.
Mm-hmm. What is the difference between kindred and other types of vampires? Kindred is the name for vampires from our source. So, kindred are vampires from Vampire the Masquerade. There are not other vampires where we're from. Quajian do not interact. Our specific version of the World of Darkness does not have Quajian in it. I will not answer questions about Quajian. I think White Wolf needed to think a little longer before designing them the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not go into that. From Poppy, feel free to skip if it's too personal or not applicable. Do you have healing powers? Yes. If so, do you get scars? And if not, how do you handle the mental disconnect between going through violent experiences and having no evidence from it other than your own memory asking for a friend?
Ooh! I got answers for this one.
I knew you would. I'm like, Chaiya, please take the floor.
I've talked about this before. So I find it extremely unsettling that you can go through something super traumatic, not just emotionally traumatic, but very physically traumatic, and have no record of it on your body. That's weird. It's fucked up. I don't like it. It feels invalidating, but like it's not anyone else doing it. It's your own body. Your body does not recognize what has happened to you.
It's like being gaslit.
It's like being gaslit by your own flesh, and it's like, I made you. Stop it. It's it's so weird. It's so weird. It's the disconnect is it's almost kind of dysphoric. You know? Like it's not, things don't look the way that you feel they should, and they don't reflect your experiences, they don't reflect your life, they don't reflect who you are, and it can be very, very unsettling. However, rapid healing is very nice when you don't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say that is good. I do like it. I almost got bisected within the last couple years, and then healed from that. I took a week off and I was fine.
Oh, you too.
Yeah. No, yeah. Uh-huh.
Huh.
It's not fun. Yeah, just walked it off. I took a fat nap, no problem.
I didn't even get that. I was souped up on Blood of Potency, so I was able to heal it basically instantly, which, for one thing, hurts.
Oh, yeah.
For another, very disorienting.
You guys should try being salubri and having powers that let you heal yourself and other people.
I like having two eyes.
Heal yourself with your inherent powers because it doesn't hurt. It's great.
I like having two eyes.
Boo,
well, I like my 3
on.
eyes.
You don't have to wear glasses.
That's true.
That's true.
Raphael, the other salubri in our system, does have to wear glasses, and Z is incensed.
For those of you not familiar with what we're talking about, Obeya, the discipline that salubri have that allows you to heal, gives you a third eye. No, that is not the Salibri clan weakness. It's
No,
completely
that's
separate.
unrelated.
That happens to anyone who lands Obeya.
That's a bonus. You get an extra eye. Extra eye free with learning this discipline.
It's 50% more seeing per person.
Yeah, and you're already so good at seeing.
I'm great at seeing.
100% more migraine per glasses wearer.
True.
Page.
You're right, though. Uh-oh.
That's great.
Fantastic.
Have you ever tried food that has blood as an ingredient, like blood pancakes, for example? What do you think of them? I haven't.
I don't
No.
think I have. We're not an extremely adventurous eater, because the body is very autistic. And it gets ya. We're ooh. Man, we're slacking in all the blood stuff. Sorry guys.
Yeah, we're boring. And the last question we have, great timing. I guess Saulot has more personal experience with this question, but anyone can answer. How did the first vampires come about? How did they originate? So,
Lore time.
in canon, God did it. Kane.
I hate that that's true.
Awful.
Where we're from, God did not do it. Where we're from, the first vampire wasn't actually Cain, it was Set, and he wandered into the spirit world and came upon a tree where he drank the juice of a fruit, and that turned him into a vampire. And then I think it was like a few thousand years later, Cain did it also. Now, understandably, Set didn't create any vampires because it's an insane thing to think, I bet I could make more of myself if I killed someone and put my blood in their mouth. Who does that? Cain did that at one point and went, oh shit, I can make more of these things? And so he embraced his child, or the second generation. And then they made a city. The city they called the First City. And Cain ruled it for a time. And then he left my sire, his oldest child, Irad, in charge. Not Irad. That's not his fucking name. Enoch. Sorry, Canada's been thinking about his fucking sire all week. Shut up about Irad. Enoch. My sire's Enoch. Put Irad back in the box.
Be gone.
Sorry, Canada's very tall and he looms over me. He's 6'7".
He looms over everyone.
My sire's Enoch, and he was in charge, and he was terrible. And he started embracing the third generation, starting with my sister Arakel, and then it started to get out of hand, and then eventually they said no more. And you third generations can't embrace anyone. And they were tyrannical, and they were terrible. And then eventually we killed them. And then we ran off and created our own clans, and you know what? They were right, we shouldn't have done that.
Well.
Because now we have vampires everywhere, and we have vampire wars, and we have vampire factions, and we have vampire conflicts. Vampirism was potentially a mistake.
Well.
Maybe so.
On the grand scale, maybe so. Oh, the politics.
Ah, the politics.
Well,
Politics.
we have hit the 1 hour mark, and we appear to be out of questions, which I didn't expect to happen.
How is it perfect?
What do you mean it's 10 o'clock?
It is exactly the hour mark.
Wow.
Hot damn!
We're good.
So, that works out beautifully, I suppose. Vampirism was a mistake, quote, for Centaurus Festival 2025.
I support it.
Mistake. Quoted like 14th vampire ever.